No jumper, and I be late to the party with a lot of this stuff. So I didn't know that, I'm from North Cali, not Southern Cali. I know no jumper and stuff, and I see a lot of wannabe pimps jump on the podcasts and stuff, and this is one of them, right? And I thought about the word yimp when I seen this, so I feel like this is a good video to give a comparison on where Yimps was created, and also where hold on, and also where this, if you want to call yourself a Yimp, you can get caught up in going to jail, because Yimps, you can still be a gangbanger, still rock with your clique, and then still be getting money, and then everybody knows everything, and you can still get booked, right? So let's just start the video. Let's hear what he's saying real quick. Let's start it off on this no jumper.
Character that we just unlocked. We reached another level in the game.
ATM Richie.
Traded in some coins. We got a new character. This guy's been taking over the internet. ATM Richie.
And y'all already know, no jumper. Hey man, if any person's in the lifestyle and they want to get on this no jumper, man, you putting a target on your back. So if you really the ism or in the lifestyle, you don't want to be doing no podcasts, man, talking about the lifestyle. If you got some businesses going on, you want to go promote your businesses, then yeah. But if you on here and you know they about to ask certain questions about your lifestyle, for sure, no jumper ain't where you want to be. In any podcast, you don't want to be.
Richie in the building. How you feeling?
Easy call, man. I'm feeling wonderful, man. Absolutely. Man.
Wait. Okay, before we get into the current events and everything, I got to get the backstory though, because I'm not gonna lie. I watched the Software Underbelly interview with you. It feels like that was a different version of you than the version that we've been getting recently on the internet.
On my dead homies, I'm really some ism.
Okay.
But these motherfuckers trying to cross me over and do.
Now, I don't know, man. On your dead homies, you some ism is just it's a lot in that sentence we can unpack, right? For one, he's saying on your dead homies. So that's still showing you got that gangbanger mentality. That's a telltale sign that this could be a yimp, right? Because, once you transfer into the ism, your mind loses all that gangbanging and all that other stuff. Why does your mind lose that? Because you understand you're putting more targets on your back. Now, okay, if you want to be the pimp, man, that's cool. That's still a target on your back. But if you want to bring all this other activities that you was already doing, then now you got 4-5 targets on your back. So dead homies and ism, that sound like, 2 targets on your back right now.
All this weird shit, like, you feel me? Like, man, yeah, like, I'm trying to, like, condoning, like, people that got weird cases with minors and all that. I'm really some ism on the dead homies. I don't know what this got going on, but it's not me. I've never had no minors in my campaign on the dead homies. I've never had no nothing. And yeah, Renegades got it worse. The Renegades got it bad.
It's Renegade K.
Yes, Renegade K.
I did not know that until recently.
Yeah, man, you know how much money I done made off Renegades, and Renegades do get kidnapped. Dead homies.
You see what I'm saying? Like that, like renegades do get kidnapped, dead homies. That's no pimp is saying that. No pimp ain't even saying renegades get kidnapped. Now, I don't even think a lot of pimps dislike renegades. I think a lot of pimps understand that renegades might had a bad situation with their last folks or their last program, and now they got a bad taste in their mouth. And that's what makes them a renegade, and they kind of don't want to jump back into it. That could be one, right? The other reason could be they don't like the pressure. They don't like being, given too many suggestions to be a better person within themselves from somebody else. They want to move at their own pace, right? They don't like structure. They don't like discipline. So they know dealing with folks, they going to be able to have to be disciplined and move a certain way. And pimping know that we ain't, it ain't like we want to kidnap them. That's for damn sure. What good is pimping gonna kidnap the renegade? If we already know she got the renegade mindset, what makes y'all think we gonna kidnap the renegade? That's putting a target on your back. See, that's that gangbanger mentality on the dead homies. He wants to gangbang on the renegade. He's coming into this game And, you know, pimping telling him, hey, man, the renegades, they ain't fucking with the pimping. So now he want to bang on them. You know what I mean? I think he from a Crip hood. I don't know. You know, I don't know nothing about these hoods in SoCal. But he want to gangbang on the 304s that don't got ism.
That's what the K might be for.
That's where the whole kidnap come.
He
That's
too
where the whole
open with
kidnap
it.
come from.
Bruh,
Because I
talk
don't know
too
what is
much.
got going on with minors and anything else, but we real pimps kidnap renegades. Cause you bitches out.
Real pimps, look, hold on. Somebody said bruh, talk too much. Hey, man, look, pimps talk a lot, but it's got to be some substance about it. So he talked too much about unnecessary shit because he want that clout, right? He don't care. I got another one we going to pull up later. I might pull up this one where he arguing with the females. He going to get back in the character with all kinds of other stuff. Just like he said, real pimps kidnap renegades. This is like, you know, a clickbait. That's what they call it nowadays, right? Clickbait. That's how I look at it. This some clickbait.
Here on Hard Plays on the Dead Homies, and y'all trying to make all this money on, and y'all got loaf. Y'all be on y'all little backup pages with loaf on the Dead Homies, and y'all ain't working for nobody. Y'all know what time it is, man. Easy call, man. It's Buffy the 304 Slayer.
Look.
Hello, Dead Homies.
Okay, but before we get to kidnapping renegades, which of course I support, and we're gonna talk about all that.
And this Caucasian talking about he supported. You see, you gotta watch. You gotta listen to what these people be saying. He supports kidnapping renegades, the pimps, and see, and this is what happens. We get in these circles with these yimps, and they put us in these characteristics to where now people, you know, he got a lot of followers. Just a lot of square people listen to this no jumper dude. So now all these squares that's listening to this is gonna be like, oh well, pimps kidnap renegades, you know, and now that's why I say we gotta just separate. We gotta point it out, let them know, hey, this is their title. This is a yimp right here. We gotta give this dude a yimp title now, so people can identify the difference.
Can we just get like the early days?
Adult renegades.
Okay, definitely important.
Absolutely.
Note. Yes, for sure, we're gonna kidnap them. But aside from that, I just want like the early days. You're growing up, a little bit of that early story before we can get into like what you've done with yourself as you've grown.
Exactly.
So where exactly were you born?
Los Angeles, California. Dead homie. Y'all already know where I was born and raised in them trenches. Dead homie. Where niggas can't go, where a lot of niggas can't go. I was born and raised there.
Talking a whole bunch.
You know what I mean?
Real.
Okay.
Baldwin Village, Crenshaw District, Dead homies. Crenshaw to La Brea, you know what I mean? Even Adams.
See, he still got that gangbanger mentality. The pimp man, he gonna always look. I'm from the Bay, man. I'm from a clique. I'm from a city or area too, right? And it's always stick with me. But when you present your stuff, especially when pimps, like if y'all do y'all little rapping shit or whatever the case may be, when you're in this lifestyle and you're a pimp and you present yourself on a podcast or something, you want to show the audience the real of the pimp and the player. You know, you don't want to bring that gangbanger, and that's where that yimp come in at. It's like it's cool to be the gangbanger. Yeah, I'm breaking on the bitch, I'm pimping, and I'm a gangbanger. I'm from here and there and there. You know, that's that yimp talk. You know, where it's okay. I'm doing everything, but I really want to be a pimp, so I'm gonna call myself a yimp.
You know, y'all know what's going on. Dead homies, man.
So you're from the jungles?
Absolutely. I'm from the Biddy and the Jays. I'm from both. It's no segregation, it's no separation. Any trying to separate the set, I beat the shit out you.
Okay. So you are from, notably, the same hood as P4K.
Yeah, absolutely.
Where they filmed Training Day.
Yeah, that's my baby boy.
And more.
P4K,
Yes.
Shout out P4,
so
free P4. He innocent.
So P4K is under that shit the LA cats went to jail for. And what, like I said, you can't mix it to fix it. All these sayings make sense, right? People would think these sayings is slick talk, like the saying, you can't mix it to fix it. You can't jump in this game thinking you gonna bring your gang banging and your dope dealing and all your scamming and all that shit in it and be successful. Because what happens is like I said before, you put a lot of targets on your back. And then you put people in your circle that really are not like-minded. So he associates with those cats, right? And them motherfuckers all went to jail on some racketeering. I don't know. We're gonna watch a video on that next, because this is what leads to the Yimps. The Yimps open up the door to thinking this is a group activity, and then they all get pinched. Maybe some was doing it the right way, maybe some wasn't. But what happens is they still want to carry that Yimp and be with their gangbanger friends, and then they all get caught up.
to proven guilty, dead homies. And at the same time as that message, shout out to Nova, and we gonna pray for minors, and we don't wish that shit on our worst. You know what I mean? Like that's a fucked up situation. So we gonna pray for that little girl. We not gonna hope bad upon that little girl.
Okay.
Y'all already know her mom is a single mom, dead homies.
We'll get into all that. Don't worry. Okay. Yeah. But okay. So, what was it like growing up there, and when did you decide? When you really get like turned on the streets, or as Remo would say, when did you hop off the porch?
I hopped off the porch at how old was I?
Come on.
I was just born. Dead homies that got with this nigga. Yeah, I told my mama, because my mama from the set.
He's saying
I
a
told
lot
my
of
mama, "What's up
bunch
with
of
you?
nonsense.
Where
I'm
you
trying
from?"
to
He
get
gonna
to
put
the
his hands on me.
substance.
I was born and raised in this
And
shit.
you know how these
I ain't gonna
YouTubers
even
now,
front
these
you. Like, I was
podcasters,
just
they
born
only
and
give
raised
you
in it. My mama, my daddy,
a little clips
aunties,
of the
sisters,
video.
uncles, cousins, nieces, nephews, everything. And I got people from 6040. Shout out to the 6. I was
Real
I
gang
got put
banging.
on 10 times.
What age?
He got a
Me
real,
out the hood and took me to
he a real gangbanger that wanna.
Yeah, it's just funny. There's so
He
many.
a real gangbanger that wanna get some clout. It sound like he ain't got no substance, man. None. It's like even Adam 22 is just like
Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about.
they can
That's
go with
crazy. I
this
went to
conversation
Sand.
so
Yeah,
many
I went to
ways.
Sand. My mom moved me to Sand, and I was out there thugging.
What's sand?
San Francisco.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
you know what I mean?
Oh, he was in the
Yeah,
bay.
I don't know if they
I'm
got no
speeding through it because I got another
That's
clip, but I
My mom
wanna
moved me away when
see if
16.
he's
I
talking
think
about the
people call my
game
mama
anymore.
like, your son out here, he got a gun, he got a 25.
That's
I
good.
ain't gonna even fake. A lot of people
You were shooting
fake.
at people off the roof?
Yep, with my mama gun. If you
You just picking out
I
ops?
don't want to say that because we fuck with the Spanish side, but y'all be a little too freaky.
Oh,
I'm
man.
gonna say that right now, man. Shout
They
out to
not
my
even-
nigga, Mr. Keep It Hood.
I thought this
Playboy. We gotta
video
hit
was
some-
talking about some
Or you
gang.
went there and just kind of instituted that? Because
No,
whenever I talk,
it has always been.
really,
I'm a day one. I'm not a day 2, day 3, day 4, none of that. But I've graduated. I've been to prison 3 times, and I've elevated. And,
What's the
I
deal?
got
What's the
songs
deal?
with
We're gonna have to go to
Spanish
his
people
Soft
right
White
now. Like, one of my favorite rappers
interview.
man,
Let's go to his
is
Soft White
Peso.
because his Soft White,
What's his name? 15 Blanco.
he
that
talks
nigga
more
hard.
about the game, and I could give a better comparison.
What's the other nigga? Suede.
Suede,
Yeah,
rest
man,
in
come
peace.
on, bro. Like,
Let me go to his. This one's an old one, right? And I seen earlier he was banging, saying he was the first one on the Soft White. I don't really like Soft White at all. I don't like Soft White. I don't like him more than I don't like Adam, because Soft White really puts a fucking stain on the game to the squares, man. This motherfucker be interviewing people that ain't even in the lifestyle. That's, tweakers, that's doing tweaker dates and all kinds of contrary things to the game, and then he advertises it on his page. So we gonna play some of it, but I don't, gotta make content somehow, and these motherfuckers got these dummies is making interviews, so we gotta break them down and show them, right? But I'm not a fan of Soft White, but this is him, I think 5 years ago, talking about how he got into the game. And remind you, this is a Yimp. This is a Yimp, y'all. This is a Yimp we speaking to. This is what I think. This is how Yimps is created, man. They want clout, right? They come from the streets. They come from the streets. They trapping. They whatever. They might see an uncle that's in the lifestyle, and hey, uncle might not even be a pimp. He might just be a seasoned Yimp where he got a couple brides and getting some money out of it, and they want to get some money, but they still don't want to live by the rules and the codes of being a pimp, just like the renegade. The Yimps is the male renegades.
bitches like dirty drugs. If this bitch don't do nothing in like 2 hours, then I'ma change bitches. You feel me?
What do you say?
ATM, where'd you grow up? What neighborhood you from?
Los Angeles, California, South Central.
South Central. And tell me about your childhood. You grew up with both your parents?
Actually, no. I grew up.
We know his childhood.
So my uncles always play father. You know what I'm saying? So there's and shit. So it was just.
We know his
Always
childhood.
seeing who she liked and things like that. You know, from different neighborhoods of Los Angeles, California.
Let's get to
Fast
it.
at a young age. So you feel me? That's what led up to here right now.
What age were you when you went on your own?
When I left.
When you kind of moved on?
But before then, that's what I always wanted to be. You know what I'm saying? I always wanted to be a dope dealer and a pimp. You
See,
know what I'm saying?
you can't be
That was
both,
like,
though. You can't be both. You can't be a dope dealer and a pimp. You gotta pick one. You can't be both.
the things I wanted to do. My uncles was always coming in with different bitches, you know what I'm saying? All this jewelry and, you know what I'm saying? All of this, everything, all of these cars. And so I felt like that's what I wanted to do. But I didn't know how yet. So I started stealing cell phones and selling the cell phones to people, you know what I'm
Okay, so he says he's seen his uncles like I thought, right? But then he says he started selling cell phones. How is that going to get you? Why not go talk to your uncles and brush your elbows and soak up some real knowledge and learn? Because the best way to be a pimp is learning how to be a man to a woman at a younger age, right? That's why I be trying to talk to the young adults in this game. That's the best way you're going to be the best pimp, is learning how to be a man to a female at a young age first. It don't matter about you having your money and all that shit. Once you master learning how to be a man to a woman, then that will help your pimp game that much more. Now, if you want to get your tools in order, for sure, but don't make that be the number one thing, because sometimes a lot of dudes would think, oh, let me have my money in order and everything, and all my tools, my car, and this and shit in order, and now the girl gonna come fuck with me. But now you don't know how to be a man to a woman, so it's not gonna last. So the number one thing is always understand you got to be a man to a woman, learning that. And at the same time getting your tools together, because then it will be that much easier to have a female fall in your lap. But you can't do both. And you damn sure can't go selling cell phones. That ain't going to do nothing.
saying? And then I started selling dope. You feel me? And
Then
then
you
I went
started
to be my
selling dope.
first bitch. You know what I'm saying? So after I got my first bitch, it was over. I took off from there, you feel me?
What age was that?
I was 15. This was like the next year.
That's
you feel
a
me?
lie.
I was only in the streets like
That's a
12.
lie. So he got his first bride at the age of 15. Listen, I don't give a damn who you think you is. You can't be no kid trying to be in this lifestyle. You gotta be, how they getting rooms, because I believe he said he only plays rooms.
12 months, not even 12 months, 10 months, something like that, before I got cracking, you feel me? Like, period.
And how many girls do you have today?
Right now, I got 50 toes.
And what kind of girls do you have? All African American or white, Hispanic?
I got an Asian right now. I got 3 black girls. I got an Asian, 3 black girls, and I got the white girl.
And now, remind you guys, this is incriminating yourself, right? Hey, look, when people ask these type of questions, even outside, on the regular outside, talking to somebody, that's their job to find out. Pick up what I'm putting down, and if you able to pick up what I'm putting down, that's gonna let you know, you feel me, if there's females around you or not. But you don't want to, pimp gonna say it in a creative way where, they're not gonna say yes or no. They're not gonna, oh, I got 50 toes and this color and that color. It's like, oh, okay, that's incriminating yourself. Now, once they prove it, once they do go find some girls that say they fuck with you, they got you right here on camera saying that, yeah, these is my girls. Ain't no girl my girl, man. Hey, look.
And so the arrangement is they go out, they make money, and they give you everything.
Mm.
And what do you get? What do they get in exchange?
Well, the fact of the matter is,
Look, he don't even know how to answer it.
They don't know what to do with their money, you feel me? So what they want is protection, you feel me? They want somebody to be able to protect them just in case they get into...
He said they're dealing with prostitutes, so they don't know what to do with their money. And then he says, so they want protection. So do you think people that blow money be looking for security guards? No. That's like, he ain't even making no sense. I believe a prostitute should want a pimp because she wants to have a man in her life that understands her choice in her profession. Now, being a man, yeah, that comes with the managing the money and all that shit for sure. But she wants a man that understands her, that she can, after she's off work, she don't gotta go lay up with the trick man. She could lay up with a man that understands her.
Something in these streets, you feel me? As well as they need somebody that know what to do with the money. So if a female come across a guy that's capable of protection, as well as they know how to manage the money, you know what I'm saying? For example, they got other hustles besides that, you feel me? So they don't depend on pimping, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, if he sell dope, he sell weed, he does this, he does that, you feel what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, they can fuck with you. So
You see? And that's another thing. The females, they understand if they get a dude that is a yimp, meaning he ain't really serious about the pimping, that's less work for them. That means they can half-ass trap, make a couple dollars, and know that Yimp is gonna, make sure that everything needs to be taken care of still. They just basically want the girl around their arm or whatever so they can, jump on these internet and be like, yeah, I got me a bride and this and that and this and that. But really, she halfway hoeing and you on some Yimp shit. So it don't fit. It don't fit.
that's really what it's about. So yeah,
But that's what it's turning into right now.
I know what to do with the money. I go flip some packs or whatever. You feel me? I get us an apartment, a place to stay, vehicles. You know what I'm saying? Like everything we need.
Are they addicted to drugs?
Some are. The majority of them are. I try and stay away from the drug heads because it's a lot of problems. You feel me? In situations, and I'm human, so it's like.
Do you supply them with the drugs?
Yeah, of course. I got to. Got to.
Wait, he said, do you
They gonna
supply
fuck
the
it off
drugs?
if you ain't supplying the drugs, they gonna go get it from somebody else.
Listen, so these Yimps, boy, they'll go get the girl the drugs just to get the bread, cause that's the gangbanger, that's the dope boy mentality, right? Anything to get the money. So they willing to go put in the work. They willing to go, oh yeah, let me go talk to my partner from the hood. He got this, woo, bring him back. And when you young, you would think you doing stuff. You think you busting moves. When really, the older you get, you realize, okay, you got to be the man to this woman. So you got to install those morals and standards. And if she's not willing to, break those habits of being a drug user, then you guys got to part ways. And a lot of these cats, they so money hungry, they don't got that moral, that standard to separate. They want to just, you could call it, if you really in the game, you're like, oh yeah, I'm going to just pimp away from it, break on it a couple times and move around. You know what I mean? When really you putting a target on your back, because them couple times you could break on her, she could be high as a kite and slip up, and guess what? You going to go pick up the money and them people's there. To where you got to always understand your morals and standards. All money ain't good money. But these Yimps, they gonna take it and make a rap song about it.
And how old are you?
Right now, 30.
You're 30.
Yeah.
30. So that's 5 years ago. So this nigga my age.
Have you done prison time?
Yeah, I did 4 years in prison.
What for?
You should know better, man. But that's what I'm starting to see too. A lot of niggas my age, you would think. Hold on, somebody want to jump in. Oh my nigga, hold on. Let me finish this video. Stay in tune, man. And then I'm gonna jump in the lines. I tried to do it earlier. Nobody was in this motherfucker. We could have chopped it up first, but now I'm in the middle of this YouTube. So you're gonna have to say what you guys say in the comments until I'm done with this, and then I'm gonna jump in back on the live and we could chop it up. But yeah, that's what I'm realizing. A lot of these cats my age, they jumping in the game late, or thinking they jumping in the game late, and they really don't know shit either. They acting like the young cats.
Pandering, they drop pimping and pandering down to human trafficking, which carries life. So my original term was 30 to life. So I had to get lawyers and spend all my money on lawyers and get pimping and pandering. Get human trafficked down. First they was saying they got me on camera at the Bellagio in Las Vegas. They got a female giving me $2,700 at the Bellagio, so I'm pimping. So in Vegas, the rules and regulations are they don't hit you with pimping and pandering because you're going to get right out. So they hit you with human trafficking. So, you know what I'm saying?
That's everywhere. Oh, shit.
Here's a factor. Started stealing.
That's everywhere, though. What he just said, like, they gonna try to put HT on you because that raises your bail. That raises the bail to where now they can try to build a case on you. And sometimes, because they have different type of human trafficking, they have A, B, and C. Sometimes, they can just keep it there because it fits into one of the A, B's, and C's. Into where, like he said, you got to get lawyers, you got to, make deals to at least get that off. You feel me? At least get the HT off, because sometimes you got to register. You can have a grown female, they put HT on you, and they be trying to make you register. Now you got to fight to get it off. That's why it's important to play it accordingly. Like he said, he was in the Bellagio trying to get money from a female. Nigga, the Bellagio, it's a casino. They got cameras everywhere. You know what I'm saying? That's just not wise. That's more, I want people to see me and this and that. And it's like, look, this ain't the 70s. You feel me? This ain't the 80s. This ain't even the 90s. This ain't the early 2000s. This is 2025, to where this shit is different. You don't really want to be seen too much in this game, especially, partaking within the game. Now, you could be seen doing some, square shit, but you showing off who you is. You know what I mean? But if you in the field, whatever, you ain't trying to be having cameras and people seeing you and all that. Especially not in no Vegas.
I started stealing cell phones, but I always had it in the back of my mind, like, my uncles is pimps, you feel me? My mom was trying to do that shit, so that's what I always wanted to be. You know what I'm saying? I always wanted to be a dope dealer.
Yeah, did I see this part already?
You know what I'm saying? That was like the things I wanted to do. My uncles was always coming in with different bitches, you know what I'm saying? All this jewelry and, you know what I'm saying? All of this.
We've seen this already, huh? Let's jump up.
And so the arrangement is they go out, they make money, and they give
you... Oh, we way up here. I'm tripped out.
Everything.
There we go.
You feel me? That's just for a new hoe bitch that wants some attention. Ain't nobody walking the blades no more. You feel me? A real pimp don't got no hoes on the blade. Every bitch on the blade is on dope. They weird. You know what I'm saying? The best thing to do is post ads. You feel me? So if you got
5 years ago,
like, all
and
my
he's saying
bitches,
like the
they
blades
got
ain't
tricks lined
popping.
up. That's gonna
It's
call
just
and calls.
The reason why people say the blades ain't popping is because everybody wants to publicize the blade. Everybody want to be out there, showing they on the blade. And nobody wants to understand, let we females work right there. Let them do their thing. You don't need to be out there letting everybody else know you out there. You don't need to be out there recording them to do all that. If y'all would keep it a secret society to where it's all about making money, nobody there will be money to be made out there. That's one thing. And then the second thing is, once that gets away, females don't have to be in that competitive mode. Especially the females that's outside, they don't got to be in that competitive mode to where they pressure to, they got to just make money, to where now they want to take cheaper dates. They can be unified. They don't got to worry about the circus out there, so they going to create a unified, and the rates are going to raise back up. You know what I'm saying? Whether they renegades, whether they, so-soing, whether they got folks, whatever the case may be. But till that happens, and there's going to be a circus out there. But it's still money to be out there. You just got to know how to stay away from the circles, man. Be on the outskirts of the circles, man.
Outcalls, that's what's popping, you feel me? An in-call is somebody who's going to pull up on you. An out-call is somebody who wants you to pull up on them, you feel me? So that's really where the money at, because when you post.
And the lines is cool too, right? The lines is cool. The thing with the lines is, you will run into more females that don't know nothing about the lifestyle, right? So they'll post their ass too, and they're doing whatever with these tricks. So you're gonna come to a way more competition on the lines. Then you got them fake ads that's on the lines too. So you got a lot of competition, to where the T's, they might drift away from that because it's such bullshit going on, or they might be trying to do the most with the bride because there's so much bullshit going on. As for being in a pimping hoe community where it's like on the blade, or even in like the strip clubs or freelancing or whatever, you have a less competition of bullshit. But the lines is still cool, man. You just gotta weave through the bullshit.
Ads, now it's 200
GFE and all that.
You feel me? When you got bitches walking the blades, they jumping in the car, popping $40 dates. You feel me? That's disgusting. That's nasty. Now you bringing back infections and STDs in your camp and all of that shit. Now you not a responsible pimp. You feel me? So it's levels to this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's real levels to this shit. Like, you can be a reckless ass pimp, or you can be a classy pimp that got respect for yourself as well as your host, and you can keep everybody clean so everybody can.
And he's facts. That's facts what he's saying, but he's only saying that about the diseases part. He not understanding, because he's saying this 5 years ago, and I could see, if he said he was the first one to do the little pimp interview on this fucking podcast, or whoever, soft white dude, before the nigga Sharp and shit. That's what he said on the other one. And he's proud of that. This was his chance to stand on it. But 5 years later, this nigga still he more gang banged out than he was here. And I get it. This is where he was trying to get his clout. He's probably a rapper, so he's trying to get his clout. And that's always been a thing.
I don't want a hoe around me that I ain't fucking. That's weird. That's weird. Like, you feel me? Like, so if a bitch don't bring, if a bitch don't, my bitches nowadays, it's rare for my bitch not to bust a date, because I post ads. You feel me? I get a room, we post ads, the phone ringing all night.
This nigga, and then it's like, your choice of words is everything. Pimpin' don't want to say he's posting ads. That's an incriminating sentence right there, right? His whole conversation, but the white nigga ain't asking no questions. Have y'all seen this nigga ask any questions? Hell no. This nigga's just talking. He just going on one. This nigga don't gotta ask no questions. You see the white dude just sitting back, just letting this nigga talk. Like, fuck, I don't have to ask nothing. This nigga's just spilling all the beans. And it's like, when I see these pimp interviews, they're so proud to speak on what they're doing for the female instead of just their persona and their uniqueness and how their brain is, and talk about different topics, but letting the podcast people know that this is the pimp, and then they could talk about different topics, to where now the square audience can be like, oh shit, the pimp man know how to talk about this and talk about that, and he's has some. They always want to drill in on, oh yeah, you gotta do this and you gotta do that, and it's like, look, you don't got, just because you're a pimp, you don't necessarily got to put the lifestyle on broadcast. You can talk about other things and still let everybody know, look, this is a pimp y'all talking to. And I'm waiting on motherfuckers to do that, but hey man,
I make a bitch
maybe
walk
it'll be
the blade
me,
if
huh?
I'm mad at her. Make her walk the blade, no shoes on if I'm
He
mad
said,
at
nah,
her.
he
You
just
feel
talking.
me? Like, type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, because bitches like to do shit, do a little funny shit, because this bitch made more than her this night. So she got a grudge and a vendetta on her. So this week she was lazy as fuck. You know what I'm saying? And the only reason why she was lazy, because she knows she can't outbeat this bitch. So it's just excuses. So that's the type of shit the pimp dealing with. Like, bitch, I see with my own eyes. You're not tired. That's not the case. You can't beat her. You know what I'm saying? So, my bitches post ads, so I don't really have to worry about them. You feel me? Yeah. Because, bitch, if I pay $160 for a room, bitch, you better somebody.
So now he's saying he posts the ads and he paying for the rooms, and you can't be talking like that. White boy still ain't asked him no question. He's still talking. I want to say he been talking for like 5 minutes straight, and then just incriminating himself. I don't. This is 5 years ago, so I'm glad that he's not really leaning in that pimp stuff now. Because once we get to the next clips, he really be arguing with females. He really in his gangbang area. We might be off, but honestly, after this one, we gonna relate it to the other one with the group the little gang people he from, the same hood they from. Them motherfuckers caught them pimping cases dealing with the kids. And that's where I'm trying to piece it together, that the Yimps, becoming a Yimp, saying yourself as a Yimp, is opening the door for you to, do some rapping, do some trapping, be in your hood still, do all the things that, and still live the lifestyle, try to live the lifestyle as a pimp, right? And you gotta understand, out of all them other things you're doing, the pimp, trying to be that pimp, man, is the biggest target. Why is it the biggest target? Because it's so close to the how America is. It makes it so close to the predators. You get what I'm saying? The prostitute is close to where minors and shit be, and HTs, and that shit's right up is the pimp and the hoe. So that's why it's a bigger target than the gangbangers and all that. Back in the day, it wasn't. Now it is. And that being the case, you know, when you want to play around, dibble and dabble, saying you this and that, you going to end up, you know, catching a case like them gangbangers did, that they should have just been gangbanging. They probably would still been free.
Somebody better make it back. You feel me? Somebody better make it back.
What relationship do you have with the women that are working for you?
He asked the question.
And force.
Sometimes you got a gorilla pimp, you feel me? Sometimes you got to put your hands on a bitch and let a bitch know that you ain't gonna play with her. You know what I'm saying? Because we all out here taking penitentiary chances for this shit, so that you not finna play. You feel me? Like, you be a fool to play games, and you know what I'm saying?
That's the gangbang mentality, right? That's a bailout to me. That's a bailout. Now, we all get emotional, right? We all want to be respected, and sometimes we understand females play with us, you feel me? And, you know, a chopping is necessary, right? But to broadcast it like, oh yeah, sometimes you got to be a gorilla pimp, it's like you're feeding into the stereotype of them instead of explaining to them that, you feel me, sometimes when things are going good, being in this lifestyle, when things go good, a female start feeling themselves because things are going so good, and they thinking they the big honcho. And sometimes you gotta let them know that they're dealing with a man, and sometimes they'll try you. You gotta break it down. You don't want to make it seem like you're such a fucking, oh, I'm controlling you because now I didn't make this ad, I didn't got this room, and if you don't do this and that, you gotta make it seem like, look, she chose this lifestyle. I'm a man to this woman that chose this lifestyle, and I just want to be respected as that. You feel me?
And be sitting in jail. So if that's what we gonna do, and that's the role, that's like more than a 50% chance of the role, then yeah, bitch, don't play. You feel me? You gonna have to put your hands on her, bitch. So it's like the best things to do is to have a white bitch.
What the hell the sirens coming from?
Or an Asian bitch.
This nigga, hey, you see this soft white underbelly nigga? That's why I don't like this nigga. What? How he got sirens? This nigga got all this money in the world, and he got people's got sirens driving by. That's just, I don't know, bro. You know, I'm a real conspiracy theory type of nigga too. That's like a sign right there, nigga. If I was that nigga, I'd have been like, bro, what the fuck? Hold on, man. We gotta cut this short, bro. Where we at again, bro?
Bitch that's not black.
They sound like they right there on the street.
You ain't gonna have to put your hands on her, and she gonna bring you a little bit more money. You know what I'm saying? When you're dealing with black bitches, African Americans, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna have to put your hands on them and intimidate them. And that's just because where we come from. You feel me? It's like, due to the circumstances and situations that I'm pimping and hoeing, I know you a real bitch, and you know I'm a real nigga. So some shit a black man ain't gonna be. Some shit a black man can't tell no black bitch. You feel me? Like, when you can tell a white bitch, like, look, go walk the blade with no shoes on, bitch. You fucked up.
Probably
You
edit that in.
Shoes. Go stay down. You feel me? You can do that with a black bitch, but you gonna have to put your hands on her first. You feel me? Because
was on Fig.
Yeah, they like it's crazy.
Mark is
What's
in
the
the
most violent
trenches.
you've ever had to get with?
Wait, why is he in the trenches though? Why he do his interview in the trenches? It's easy for them niggas to get there. He like, man, if I set my shit up in a nice area, I can't interview these people and make this over exaggerated content. He gotta keep them close by so they could get to him. Okay, but back to what this nigga said about black females. Man, you gotta understand, a pimp is the ultimate man that thinks. He thinks harder than a doctor. He thinks harder than a lawyer. Why? Because he's understanding he gotta be a man to a female. And I get it, 5 years ago all the way to now. This is a young adult's game. And the Gen Z females, they real savvy because they could go to the internet and see how, and then you gotta go against these, you need to have the world in 30 days and upgrade. So now when they in this lifestyle, they'll try you. But you gotta be a thinker. You gotta understand. You gotta reiterate to the female what it really is. Don't let the internet get you distracted to where now you want to talk to somebody that's rocking with you crazy. You know what I'm saying? You gotta stay focused. You can't think, cause she black, I gotta put my hands on her. Man, any female you shouldn't want to put your hands on, bro. You should want to be thinking about how to get her to understand me putting my hands on you is unnecessary. We rocking. Somebody gotta lose the ego.
Shit,
He's saying some incriminating things, so he probably edit that in. That police shit. Yeah, he a police.
Man, we have a little thing going on, man. Renegade K, you feel me? So anybody
only been around 5 years? Okay.
No worker, no pimp. We used to do some little shit to him, you feel me? I don't want to say too much and incriminate myself. But
no, you said enough. All right, now you don't want to say too much, nigga. What happened? You said,
I don't want to get you in trouble.
Yeah, long story short.
I'm glad you didn't go to jail though, bro.
You feel me? Bitch come up missing.
Good thing you do rapping and other shit.
A couple of days, a couple of weeks, whatever you want to call it, and she gonna come back correct. You know what I'm saying? We was dealing with dog kennels. We was dealing with cat food. We had a whole bunch of ways to get a bitch right. You feel me? Like,
I'm so happy that these dudes that do this, because he a black male just like I'm a black male, so I don't want no black male going to jail. You don't need no more. But I'm so glad that the people that, some people do an interview and they really in the lifestyle, but these dudes that just want to pretend like they're a pimp to get clout, but really not in the lifestyle, and they talk reckless on camera, and they don't go to jail. I'm glad that I feel like they dumb for talking, but they smart enough not to really do too much in the game to where they can fucking, whatever interview they did could put them in jail. Yeah, he promoted Miss Pimpin'. Yeah, this is a Yimp. It ain't Miss Pimpin' at all. This is a Yimp. See, when we said that Miss Pimpin', you would think, no, a pimp can miss pimp. That's how you become a better pimp. You feel me? When bitches blow and you be like, damn, okay, you take accountability, you kind of miss pimp. You might have a good bitch and she blew on some, you was chipping away or you did some chipping or something and she blew. That's miss pimping, right? You still a pimp. You slipped up and you sharpen your tool. You gotta put these motherfuckers as Yimps now. They already wanted to call themselves that. They Yimps because now that lets the squares know that this is not pimps. These are Yimps. The motherfuckers that just be going on podcasts talking crazy, that be beating bitches, but getting their bread. They do a little rapping, they do a little this, they do a little that. Those is Yimps. You know what I mean? Because now, when the pimps show up, we can show substance, we can show scholarship, we can show the real, to where they can be like, okay, these are the real gentlemen of the lifestyle. Gotta separate. And the best way to separate is get these motherfucking titles. And stand on it. These is them. They wanted that shit. The rappers, all them Yimp music and all that shit. That shit is not no branch off to a pimp. No, we don't want no branch off. Just like the 304. We don't want no branch offs. To where it's like, oh, y'all leaving the door open for anybody to partake in this shit.
You can't walk our blades.
Alright, I'm talking too much.
And you a renegade. You have to be paying somebody, bitch. You can't be out here selling pussy and you ain't paying nobody. You know what I'm saying? You can easily come up missing forever. You know what I'm saying? Like, this shit real. So, yeah, like burning bitches with cigarette butts, putting cigarettes out on bitches, all type of shit, man. Pouring bleach on bitches, making bitches bathe in bleach.
And mind you, this nigga said he went to jail and they tried to put HT on him. Mind you. And I could relate to that. That's what they try to do to me. You know what I mean? I have to fight my case to get the HT off. Fuck that. And God bless it happened, And I ain't had no money, but the DA got pregnant. So she had to take a leave of absence, and when the new motherfucker came in, my public defender, what I had a state appointed, the top public defender, whatever it's called, a state appointed or some shit. He was able to, you feel me? You know what I mean? And everything was good. But if you went through that one time in your life, what I'm saying is, how can you get on this shit and talk crazy, right? And this is what happens, right? This is 5 years ago, right? So let's speed it up. So this is what can happen, bro. When you want to be a yimp, you could get into things like this, man, and you know, be talked about on these podcasts and stuff.
And we heard Jay Money from 11 Deuce Hoover got our name in his mouth after he went down on this Hoover indictment. Now, Jay Money, you can argue with your homies from 4 Trade to the One Way all you want, but we gonna keep bleeding you with this paperwork.
About the dead homies, where the fuck you saying in there about Jay Money, about me, Jared Evans?
And look, Jay Money, I believe is from the same area. I could be wrong, I don't know. But all I'm saying is, he's another yimp, right? To where he might think he was doing the shit the right way, but still kicking it with the wrong crowd, and they doing shit, and he knowing about them doing shit that's contrary to the game, meaning dealing with kids, but he's cool with it because he ain't dealing with it, and what happens is he gets caught up in the circle.
That shit not right. That shit talking about him, Evans, and Lady Duck helped a 14-year-old and helped teach her and all that. Man, on the dead homies, I don't condone no minor shit, no underage, none of that shit. You can check my paperwork and see it. I ain't got no minor victims or no weird shit on my case. You feel me? This is an open case, so I ain't finna say too much.
This dude say he don't deal
Right.
with minors. October 3rd.
Right, so what happens is when you be in them circles and you trying to do too much, instead of understanding, okay, the pimp man is a lonely game, right? Well, like they say, and these sayings, once again, just like I said, you can't mix it to fix it. And another saying is, you know, once the pimping begins, the friendship ends. And that's a serious saying. It's not just slick talk. It means you got to understand this bigger target is the pimp man. That's the most powerful man out there, and them squares know it. Why? Because most of them squares are the trick man, and most of them squares that are the big tricks, you know, they got them big jobs in the police fields and in the government fields and all that type of shit. So they understand what's going on. It's us, the minorities, the black male. This is our shit. This is where it comes from. Gotta understand, especially these young dudes that be wanting attention. Especially right now in this era where the internet is booming, it's so easy for you. And that's why I'm saying these yimps, I'm rooting for y'all to become pimps. Y'all just gotta let go of all that other stuff, because if not, we gonna, you know, we gotta
2024.
They say he
using
lying.
coded messages on Instagram. Defendant Evans, Jared Evans, aka Jay Money from 11 Deuce, told an unidentified person that he had previously trafficked a minor victim known as Temptation. Defendant Evans, aka Jay Money, also explained to this person that Defendant Armstead, aka Lady Duck, also used to pimp on Temptation when she was a minor. So like I said, you can plead your...
And I hate when they say pimped on. I hate that terminology. I hate that terminology because and dealing with a minor for sure is no pimping involved with nothing. You know what I mean? That's no pimping involved. But even with a adult female, when they say pimped on, I don't like that terminology because it makes it feel like the pimp is using the female instead of the female choosing the pimp, right? So I don't never use that pimped on terminology. I get it. Hey man, I'm pimping on the... I get it, but that be for them yimps, I feel like. You know what I mean? That bitch is choosing to fuck with me. I ain't pimping on nothing. I am a pimp. I be liking it as well. Them squares misuse it and misbe leading it. Yeah, I don't like that. Pimped on. Them squares for sure misuse that word a lot. And I always gotta explain to them, I don't like that word. I don't like
Okay, so your homies all you want. If they want to select a politic and still rock with your ass, that's on them. but it's all in the paperwork. We're not playing no games just because you're trying to get a care package from niggas on Instagram. And you know, I know when niggas back against the wall, maybe they black out and forget some shit, so we gotta refresh this nigga memory. When the feds caught him in the stadium
He
in
said
for 3
every
days
bitch say
straight
that
with
you ain't
Lady
pimping
Duck,
on me.
April
I don't like
26,
that.
2024
Yeah.
to April 29, 2024. Lady Duck and Evans, Jared Evans, aka J Money, since you want to act funny, utilized hotel rooms at the Stadium Inn for their sex workers, including victim 11, a 14-year-old girl to use for commercial sex dates with Johns. So J Money, you ain't see this little 14-year-old girl in the room that you share with Lady Duck?
And that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. You see what I'm saying? To where you might not been doing it, but you socializing with people that is partaking in that stuff is not cool, right? And I'm not saying police it either. Like I told you, you gotta separate, because pimping ain't the police of that. You know, pimping just gonna tell you, look, man, that ain't contrary. You ain't, hey, man, you ain't pimping right, man. You ain't, that ain't cool. You know, especially if it's known. Now, you know, back in the day, you know, motherfuckers could slip up and not know, and then once they get the knowledge of it, get the fuck away. You know what I'm saying? That's a different case. But if you're knowing it and you're still allowing it around you and your peoples because it's bigger than that, because y'all clicked up, y'all from the same hood and stuff, that's where the issue comes in at, right? That's where the yimping comes in at. You know, the yimp is going to kick it and still be cool with that. We don't give a fuck. We getting our money, man. You know, getting the room, whoop the whoop whoop. As the pimping gonna be like, look, man, that's contrary, bro. Either you let that thing go, or I'm about to split, man. You know, I'm gonna catch you on the flip side, man. But I gotta stick to my program. Pimping is okay with losing friends. You know, hey, man. Especially a lot of friends. Look, man, I come from a clique too, and a lot of my partners, hey, man, they understand, like, when I do my thing, I'm gonna catch y'all when I catch y'all. You know, I don't got time partaking with y'all. Y'all trying to, oh, can I come do that? Nah. I got things to do. We'll catch up when we catch up.
4 people talking about he didn't share the room. Boom. April 26 and 27 using coded messages on Instagram. Defendant Evans advised Defendant Armstead J Money hit Lady Duck and told her he was at the hotel room they were sharing. And April 28, 2024, Lady Duck gave J Money some money to pick up food for her and the 14-year-old girl and told
Hey, look,
J Money.
hold on. Now that I'm watching this, I don't know whose podcast this is, right, or whose YouTube, but like they obviously be hating on the young man, and I get it. I don't know how old he is. Like I said, I be assuming they young, but sometimes they be around my age, and I still call them young because they young in this game. But okay, rap news and streets. He seems like he got a vendetta against J Money, and I always told myself when I be watching these, like, oh, I would never break down because they showing police shit and all that. But so don't think like I'm one of them motherfuckers that be wanting to see the police shit on these motherfuckers. I don't like seeing the police shit. I'm trying to get the lesson out of all of this, where identifying the yimps and the pimps, right? That's really the message I'm trying to deliver. I'm not really he say, she say shit in this. You get what I'm saying? But, you know, we want some visuals, so this is a visual.
She would pay him back. So I'm not doing none of that funny shit. And Street Views, it's a reason this shit hit almost 300K in close to 2 weeks. Yo weird ass can keep my name out your mouth too, nigga. Both y'all niggas can bang my line as well. And Street Views, nigga, don't hit me with that weird ass voice you be using putting on for the internet.
Hey, who know this nigga? He big mad. Like, it's some LA shit going on. He pull his coattail and then those be the same people be ready to throw the title on your face. Yeah, man. But who know about this nigga's YouTube page? He big mad. Where you from? I'm from Northern Cali. I ain't from Southern Cali. But Northern Cali and Southern Cali is similar, but the only difference is, like, for instance, in this, like, Northern Cali, if they in the game, they like to do their stuff separately, right? It ain't gonna be a clicked up industry within the macking, right? You know, the Bay Area, they real heavy on, okay, it's cool to mac, to where, you know, you get the bride, get some money out the bride, You know, you can go sell some dope, you know, sell some packs, whatever the case may be. But it's his own mission, really, you know, and cause it ain't no gangs like that. Now you have cliques, you feel me, where you could click up and shit. But usually in the Bay Area or the Northern Cali, the cliques, most niggas in the cliques got their own little hustle. You feel me? Everybody got their own little hustle. As for Southern Cali, okay, I'm in Texas. They got different P's out here. Yeah, I ain't really touched on the Texas P's, man, because I could do a deep dive or, you feel me, into the Texas P's because I be hearing things, but nah, I'm gonna just, you know, whatever pops up, I just talk about that can relate to the ones in the grassroots, right? This is some grassroots shit. So I try to talk to the grassroots. But Southern Cali be having them gangs, them gangbangers. So when them gangbangers get a taste of the pimp world, the pimping hoe world, the community, they might all come in it as a gang. You know what I mean? Because it's, you know, that's just what they do, you know. So that's the difference from the Bay. But you still, you know, the rapper is from the Bay that be saying he's a Yimp. You know, so from, I think it's a Cali West Coast things. A lot of Yimps is in California. And it comes down to Texas. You know, you could put the Yimps in Texas. I'm not too much about the Midwest or the East Coast yet. I don't see it as much over there, you know, where people just be, I see more the Midwest and the East Coast. They like to be like that OnlyFans manager type pimp. You know, that's not necessarily the Yimp. It's just like they like to do, they like to think they in the game, but they really, you know, doing some managing. They doing some management shit. That's what I see. Texas is like divided with the Yimps and then the manager, whatever you want to call them motherfuckers. You know what I mean? Texas got half of that. You know, when it comes to the watered down of the games, that's how I look at it. West Coast got a lot of the Yimps going on. A lot of that, hey man, I do a little bit of this, that, what's happening, you know. And then the East Coast and the Midwest, they got them, oh man, you know, I'm gonna put you up here, do this, get you this, get your credit and all that type shit going on, which is cool. I mean, that's good. Just don't call yourself a pimp because you gotta go through the grassroots to become a pimp. You can't just, you know, got your square money right. Now you wanna save a girl that's in the in the lifestyle and thinking you some pimping doing it. Houston game is different for sure. Got a lot of originality though. Yeah, it's for sure a lot of originality over there.
You need to PC up somewhere, nigga. Stop playing on this internet. The paperwork out there. You keep telling niggas, go look at the paperwork. Here it is right here for niggas. Up. And you sound like you finna flip for the goodie bag, throwing your homies up under the bus like that, talking about they was dealing with minors. I'm
Let's
not
see
gonna
what
be
this
surprised
one
to
say.
see you up in that room.
This one a little longer.
And left P4K and got back down on the blade for info. P4K ends up pulling back up on her, and that's where we see him beating on that female on the blade.
Shit.
That was
I'm late to all this.
With what the feds are alleging, these defendants
but
have
this
done.
seemed like this YouTube page is like them like the Blade War page on Instagram and shit. Like I get it. No minors. You shouldn't be dealing with the minors, right? But doesn't it seem kind of weird that these niggas be chasing the motherfuckers that deal with the minors? Like that just seems strange. And then they want to be best friends with the minors and all of that. Like, I don't know. That just be funny style to me. I look at it like this. Like, the girls that's young and that be intrigued with the lifestyle, that's been around for a long time, and like the pimps, they just stay away. It's not we're not trying to police it like, hey, you're not supposed to be. It's like, look bro, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna lace you, I'm gonna give you some game, don't be doing that, check this, do this, check the IDs, make sure you confirm, and then I'm out the way. You feel me? I'm not gonna come back and be the police. Let me see, my nigga wanna jump in, man. Hold on. Let me see. Let him jump in and chop it up with me, man. Let him jump up and chop it up, man. If he do come up. Oh, yeah, he up here. What's the deal, man? Yeah, what's on your mind? What we talking about? You talking?
I seen that, man. That minor shit outrageous, dog.
What you say?
I seen that shit, that minor shit outrageous. Shit.
Yeah, man. Hold on.
Allegations, they innocent until proven guilty. But you already know how the feds is coming, man. They've done their homework, and they really started it by piecing together everything about the Hoovers. Now, you know, we got some high-profile names on this case. Y'all know we got Lady Duck as the lead defendant on this case. And a lot of people ask, how's the only female on this case the lead defendant? For y'all that's in the city, y'all done heard her name before.
Hey, man,
Y'all
drop
may
down
know
real
her.
quick.
You already know Lady Duck is not playing. She was already sitting down
Hey,
on the
drop
state
down
case
real quick.
for 30 flocks. And
What they say now, the lady girl, and that's another thing. I don't really believe in the female pimp, 9 defendants, and I really think they're trying to, put her as the ringleader
had a release
because
date.
being a female, she probably was dealing with that the child the most.
And now the feds have put the squeeze on her, and they finna take everybody down to MDC. And just to give you all an idea of what Lady Duck got going on in this indictment, the feds got somebody on tap trying to sell Lady Duck a female for a rack. And if Lady Duck didn't want her, they said they was gonna sell her organs across the border. Lady Duck replied, what she look like. So that's the type of role.
Wait, what? See, what is going on? I don't be knowing none of this, and I know I'm probably late. I know I'm late. This shit probably came out 2 weeks ago. But what I'm saying is, it's like, do you see how they try to put all of this into the pimp and hoe community when really there's no pimping or hoeing going on? And that's the big thing that we got to take out of this. And that's why I'm trying to get y'all to understand what a yimp is. So now, when we're, trying to tell these squares or these, wannabe peas or wannabe hoes in the game, you could be like, yeah, okay, you're yimps. That's what y'all doing right now. Y'all not doing what pimps would do. So when y'all start saying all this and y'all hear the squares talking, y'all can let them know, like, no, that's not that. That is a yimp. You know what I mean? They wasn't doing no pimping or no hoeing. I get what they're trying to do. They trying to merge it, but nah. That's just because they was trying to be, but they wasn't quite there. So they got to be yimps. Even her. And like ladies, females, look, man, if they don't want to partake in the game as being a female, I'm trying to break on a trick, they don't need to be around the lifestyle. It just don't make no sense. And I get it. They gangbangers and they from the same hood, and I get it.
They allege Lady Duck is playing in this indictment. But not only is Lady Duck on here, y'all know we got P4K out the Baby Stone Gorillas from BPS. Everything they was saying about dude, the feds are alleging that him and pretty much everybody else was involved in some nasty activity on Fed. Now with the RICO, they saying that the Hoovers are an enterprise, a full organization that's running a monopoly on the west side of South Central. And as the feds put it, they are operating from 4 Trey to the one-way. But not only do they got the RICO charge, they got the sex trafficking of the minors by force, fraud, or coercion, transportation of a minor.
Oh, see, they getting a RICO. You see what I'm saying? That this ain't no way in hell with pimp getting a RICO charge, because he's a independent business. It's an independent, you feel me, thing. It's not even a business. It's an independent lifestyle. Right? That's the key terminology. Independent lifestyle. Meaning this is how he lives his life. It's not a business. Once you try to make it a business, that's when you put even a bigger target on your back. That's why I be trying to tell the Midwest cats and them this shit bright as hell. The Midwest cats that want to be the managers. It's like, okay, you're thinking because you're managing them, they cook double fired. I mean, yeah, but I'm not really talking about them. I pray that, God blesses them. Everybody makes mistakes, you get what I'm saying? And as you can see, the young female's okay, right? She's doing interviews, so she's okay. That's good too. That's a blessing. Like, she wasn't harmed. No female was harmed, no young female, no child was harmed. That's a good. Now, do they deserve to be under the jail and all that? Hey, man, hey, that's not my decision to make. This is not what this is about, right? Once again, this is not what this is about. This is about understanding when you jump in this lifestyle and you want to be a yimp within this lifestyle, this is what could happen, right? You have to go through things like this because you're not living the lifestyle accordingly. You're not trying to have morals and standards on this game because this game is serious. It's a lifestyle. It's not a business. And that's why I try to tell the Midwest cats, like, you keep thinking this is a business and you're not going to get incriminated for this stuff. It's like you still can. You just got to understand to lace your game right. Don't be mad at the pimping.
But overall, it's 24 victims, with 8 of them being minors. And what I've seen is ranging from ages 14 to 17. Some crazy work that's being alleged in this indictment.
Yeah, you for sure gotta check ID, but they was on some cartel stuff. It looked like they was buying. I don't know what they was got going on over here. And like I said, this could be clickbait. This is he looked like he's getting all his news from the police, and you know the police love to, you know, they like the hoes. They like to, you know, put a little extra on stuff and all that and make it seem like what it is ain't and all that. So we got to take it with a grain of salt. Got to take it with a grain of salt. But what I will say is when you say you got to check the IDs, for sure you got to check IDs and you got to do a little bit more. You got to do a little bit more. What do you say? Tune into a story. Pull his coattail. Turn it up into a story. Yeah, they're going to turn it up into a story for sure. And I'm not trying to dive into that, right? So like he said, you got to check IDs and you got to do a little bit more now because, you know, these females can have fake IDs and you got to talk to them. If you know that 18, 21, 22, you got to understand communication is everything. You can get a lot of knowledge from how a female talks to you and you can tap in and know, hey, hold on, man, look, I'll go to jail. I'll go under the prison fucking with you, man. Stop playing with me. This ain't that serious. You don't got to do this. And most young girls that's under the age, if they are, you know, young females, they're going to understand. You got to really let them know the real. Not just checking the ID. Oh, okay, cool. Let's go get this money. Ooh, let's go, baby. No, you got to look, check it out. I ain't worried about no money right now. Fuck all that. I need to know what you been through in life at your young age. Shit, let's see if this add up. What you say. You got to know, communication and asking the right questions will get a lot of information from you. And that's why I always ask cats when talk to me or whatnot, like, when did you enter the lifestyle? Because when they tell you that would tell you a lot about if they're really in the game or not. Same goes with interviews. Same goes with if you're trying to understand if this goes over the age, you know. Asking the right questions is key because you put pressure on people to give you a substance of an answer.
But this whole situation started off in February 2021 and ended last week, August 7th, 2025, where they unsealed this indictment and turned the heat up on everybody. Now, February 9th, 2021, Lady Duck was caught with 9 racks, some fake pills that had that fentanyl in it, and a scale for distribution. This is the starting point where everything started to go left. And this is when the feds started to fully build their case on the Hoovers as a whole, not just the...
Now, that's 2021, and she didn't get caught with no pimping. You could tell she a hustler. She was in that game. She trying to get it up. And that young lady, she should have learned when she set it down in 2021. She should have learned, man. She should have figured some things out and got more sharper. But when, you know, sometimes when you young and you know, your ego and you got your peers pumping you up and all that type of shit, you know, you jump back in it and you don't be thinking about doing things differently.
Pimping, they pretty much got everything except for murders
Always
in this
pimping,
indictment surrounding the Hoovers. They've been studying their rivals. Of course, they well-known rivals and allies. Those facts are pretty well publicized in the streets and, of course, on the internet. But the feds are alleging that the Hoovers got about 1,800 active members right now. And they had 3...
Goddamn, 1,800? What he said, always always HN, that Mexican pimping, but who knows? I don't know, folks. What's Mexican pimping? Y'all be having all these names and these abbreviations. What's HN mean? Oh man, I told you I did time and then I came out and the whole world changed and I'm still like, God damn, they be having all kinds of abbreviations and
main strong
but see I be having, I got the Gen Z bitches, so I be catching up fast.
strongholds in this operation. Two of them being motels, one of them the Stadium Inn, and the other one the 110 Motel, with the Stadium Inn being on Vermont and the 110 Motel being on Florence. And the feds are also alleging that the House of Hotties off Fig, that little female clothing store, was one of the key pieces in helping strengthen
What's
the
Mexican
enterprise
pimping though?
of the
What's
Hoovers.
Mexican
Now, the
pimping?
feds said they were studying the Hoovers for a long time, and
I
they
don't
seen even if the Hoovers is having
Yimping.
internal conflict between one of their sets, they noticed that when it was time to put in work, all the sets was coming together for Hoover. And this is what they using to prove.
And look, see, they was on some hood shit. Like I get it. I get it. I'm trying to explain to you. The big target is when you start wanting to dibble dabble in the pimping hoe community. Because if you're not going to come in that community with morals and standards, then yeah, you're going to deal with kids. You're going to be trying to do anything to get some money because, oh, you know where a blade is, or you know how to post a line now, or whatever the case may be, right? You know how to tell a girl, or you know how to give a girl suggestions on how to bust a date, but you're not going to understand the rules and the regulations of the lifestyle. And you're going to come in with your whole crew. And you see how the big case, it wasn't dealing drugs, it wasn't gang banging, it wasn't violence. It's the pimping, it's the trafficking, it's the human trafficking is the big thing. And they just throw the little pimp thing in it. And at first I wasn't going to talk on it because I really thought it was going to be human trafficking. But then I keep seeing people talking about pimping, and this is a pimping, and pimps dealing with minors, and I'm like, oh my God, these is Yimps then. Fuck it, these is Yimps. We gotta stand on it. This is a Yimp. This is not pimps. If y'all want to keep thinking, oh, trafficking, we gotta slide another word in between a trafficker and a pimp, and that's a Yimp. You know what I mean? Because they not full traffickers. They was just trying to get their money different ways. And they didn't have no morals and standards, and they dealing with a kid. Call their ass something, you feel me? We gotta put a wedge in between. We gotta put a buffer in between that HT and that P, and we gotta give them niggas that Y. Hey man, them niggas is Yimps. We gotta let these squares know, hey, this is a Yimp. Hey, look. The pimps is the real gentlemen for the lifestyle, the ones that's doing good in life and y'all really rarely ever hear about because now everybody want to find dirt on it. They be like, why you don't show your face, man? Hey, look, when the time is right, I will. I ain't got no problem. It's just when the time is right. Shit, let it motherfucker figures, make sure everything, the coast is clear.
That they running a full-fledged enterprise. And they also dug deep into how people was getting put on and who exactly was getting walked on because of their family ties into the Hoovers. Now, this is being labeled as a complex case because it has more than 8 defendants. It got 11 total. Well, like we said, Lady Duck, P4K, Vermont Star, Tiny 3, Folo, J Money, Young Pope, and a few other dudes who are either associates or members of one of the Hoover sets.
Look. And they all got money. That's another thing. When you do posting like this, the square community is gonna automatically think you're a pimp. That's like a telltale sign to start digging in your shit. That's what it is now. They like, oh, do you not understand these people give a fuck about their money that they print? So when they see a black male having a lot of money, they like to tap into that and figure out shit and get nosy. Bruh said, I'm from San Antonio. Mexican pimping has no structure, no moral. Got on the date with the bitch. Mexican pimping basically a boyfriend pimp trafficker. So stop sliding the pimp word in there then. You know what I'm saying? That's like a Yimp, or that's like a, he ain't doing no pimping. It ain't Mexican nothing. He just a Mexican that got a girl that want to give him some money. He a hoe hustler. But That's what I'm trying to tell you, Molly, is like, stop sliding the pimp word in these things that's contrary to being a pimp, because we're outnumbered in dealing with social media and the internet. If you live this lifestyle like I do, I get tired of getting negative feedback from a pimp instead of positive, like how it used to be. And I be trying to figure out ways to get it back to how it used to be, to where you can make pimp movies, and they're love movies. All the pimp movies back in the 70s is love stories, man. Ain't no human trafficking involved with that, no Mexican pimp involved with that, no yimping involved with that. They love stories, man. You know, pimping figured it out, man, whether the pimp lost the bitch to the system but gave her the money, or whether the pimp just quit the game. Whatever they kids, they was always real to the female. You know what I mean? But yeah, this money, taking pictures with y'all money, man, if you got money, man, just stack that motherfucker. You ain't no need to take. I know it's excited. You hit big, you excited, man. I know you get excited, man. I know. And it's like, man, I want the world to see it. Man, hey, look. There's other ways to showing the world you got money without taking a picture of it.
Now,
Hold on.
Lay. And Vermont Star is the same dude
Yeah,
that we
Mac.
spoke on
You
in our
already know what
Swan
movie I
video.
was relaying.
The dude that just robbed Day 3 homie of his
He
chains.
said the Mac
And
was
Tiny
damn near a
3
love story,
is
just a
King
different
off
form of love.
Manchester.
Exactly.
Another rapper coming
The
out
Mac,
the
Willie Dynamite, they all love stories. You right, still learn that respect and pimp support to uphold each other. No, for sure, for sure.
Now, a thing that we gotta stress, like we said, Young Pope, P4K, we gotta let y'all know, these charges and allegations we finna go through is nothing to play with, and they only pertain to the people that we talking about in this indictment. Just because you see Young Pope name, this ain't got nothing to do with the Pope that we know that's doing this entertainment shit.
And notice the police, they don't even gotta put no pimp charges on their ass no more, because it's bigger than that. You know, it's bigger than that. And that's what I'm trying to get y'all to understand. These dudes wasn't even pimps. That's why the police, if they had any pimp bones in them, they would get charged with a pimp charge, right? Pimping is against the law. So when people say you go to jail for mispimping, it's like, no, you if you got a pimp charge, you know, you had to been doing some pimping. You know, you can't be doing no mispimping if you got a pimp charge. You know, you gotta understand it's a law. And they understand what pimping is too. That's why these squares will make these videos, and they understand when you put the pimp name or the title, that's clickbait, and people are gonna buy into it. And yeah, you know, I don't hear nothing about no grown females, you know, handing none of these cats money. You feel me? They only talk about the child, the little girl. Because it was no pimping going around with all them people we just seen. Was like 8 of them, 12 of them or some shit. None of them probably had no pimping going on. Not one of them probably got a pimp case.
With P4K, this got nothing to do with the Baby Stone Gorillas. Like I said, these charges are nothing to play with, so let's not get silly with the internet shit. Just because you see some familiar names in this indictment. But what's being said is that all these defendants helped each other in one way or another in this human trafficking ring. Whether it was with the minors or the adults, everybody played a hand in keeping the grip on the operation. And everybody knows Fig, and we know what hood is on Fig. It said that to operate on Fig, you have to be in good standing with the O's. And they also alleged that some people was paying taxes to play ball on Fig with some of the feet out there. But overall,
I don't know. See, that's some new shit right there. You know, when I don't know if pimping paying taxes, babe. Listen, I ain't no gangbanger. I don't fuck with Fig. You know, but pimping don't gotta be on the blade. You know, the I gotta be. You gotta just, once you learn how to maneuver in this community, any street could be a blade. You know what I mean? You just gotta know how to play it. Now, if pimping gotta get taxed to make a trap, pimping gonna, you know, move around. That's just how I look at it. I don't know. I get it. I don't get it really. You feel me? You know, there's plenty of blades out there. There's plenty of ways bro I could get money, man. If they taxing me, I'm moving around, man. This ain't the strip club. We go get you in the strip club if you want to get taxed. You feel me? You know, you could go work at the brothel if you was looking to get taxed, you know what I'm saying? But hey, man, you know, I ain't from LA, man. Fig be, you know, they speak highly of it. But what I'm saying is a lot of the cats on Figs don't understand the old school game of the pimping hoe community. And that's why it's like a big circus around there, man, because it's not, they're cut from different cloths, right? Now, there's different blades in the LA, Southern Cali area that's probably a little bit less circus. But Fig, for sure, that motherfucker there, anybody and everybody try to pull up to that motherfucker. I think Cardi B even made a video on that little clip. You know, everybody want a little piece. They stand-up comedians talk about that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying?
Fear factor is what the feds are using to glue the Hoovers to a whole enterprise, resulting in this RICO. And the key thing that y'all gotta realize is the same shit every time. Instagram. Not only are these dudes using these music videos, but they using Instagram to prove the allegations in these indictments.
Instagram. They're using Instagram. I'm trying to explain something to y'all, man. Motherfuckers be mad at me like that one nigga, I don't know where he from, but he was like, show your face, show your face. Oh, you the police. It's like, no, nigga, you the police. Trying to have me show my face so fucking hard. Nigga, what? You gotta be the police, nigga. Not me. Because I don't want to show my face. That don't even make sense.
Guns and the drugs are being shown on Instagram, shown in the music videos, and along with the weapon seizures and the seizure of the drugs, the feds are saying that the Hoovers are using this and keeping drugs and weapons around to protect their assets in these two motels and the clothing store. And they said it was also using the clothing store and the motels as stash spots for guns and drugs. And even though dudes like P4K is not from Hoover, they were still involving themselves in Hoover politics and in the Hoover enterprise. DPS is not mentioned once, other than as an ally of Hoover in this indictment. But overall, the feds are alleging 441 overt acts that they using against all 11 of these defendants. So overt acts are going to be specific crimes and elements that the feds use as probable cause to set forth the indictment. And again,
I swear, man, you know, when the police get involved, they always will pull up something that nobody ever knew. We always learn something new. When the feds get involved, you always learn a new law. Like, oh shit, I never knew that, or that's something new, because they just be pulling out shit. They'll pull out a somebody versus state way back when and be like, oh yeah, we can use that. That's gonna stick and that's gonna stick. Because they understand there's big money involved, man. They understand what's going on, man. And you gotta understand, if they understand that, then you gotta play chess. You can't be playing checkers, man. You gotta be really critical thinking and moving strategically, especially if you want to be in this lifestyle, man. And it sucks that this game is how it is now. I wish it wasn't so watered down with the Yimps and so watered down with you know, the 304s and the red pills and the blue pills. I wish it was still like when I entered the game, right? But it's not. So when I talk to the young adults, you know what I'm saying, you just gotta sharpen your tool and understand. People get older and they realize what's the real and they weave away from the fake, right? And as long as we start putting these buffers in between the real and bring it back a secret society instead of trying to police all the bullshit and the mockery and just create buffers like, okay, these is Yimps. What we looking at right here, they not real pimps. They was Yimps. So we can't even bash them, be like, oh, you miss pimp, or you not pimps not supposed to deal with minors. It's like, no, they was doing some yimping. So they don't really got, the Yimps don't really got morals and standards like a pimp does.
There's 441 different acts or crimes that were committed. Now the feds start off by saying most of these defendants was branding their names, tattooing their names on these victims. Some adults and some minors. With Lady Duck having her name on 4 people. Hands having his name on at least 2 people. Folo, aka Figure Four, also had his name on at least 3 people. Info had his name tatted on a 17-year.
Now what? Now listen. What is the purpose for the tattoo on somebody? Are they really trying to mark like territory, or is it like they thinking the person like is it some like I'm curious. I don't got no tattoos, right? I ain't never been a tattoo person because I don't got imagination like that. I don't like pain for pain, so I don't got no tattoos. You know, I'm light skinned. You know, girls. Oh, you need tattoos? You know what I mean? And it's like I'm not paying for no goddamn pain. The hell. And I don't got imagination. I don't know what to get on. I don't know what to get on my body. What? But anyways, what I'm always curious is what's the purpose of this? Like, is it like, oh, they on some emotional stuff, loved up in the bed, and they was just like, yeah, man, I love you and I love you too. Okay, get a tattoo on. Is it that, or is it like, yeah, you mine? I'm put a stamp on it to mark you, like type stuff. You know, I be always curious.
Old girl on her face. And for my star had his name tatted on a 17-year-old girl on her neck. Now with Lady Duck, the feds say she is a hood trophy. They got this in the indictment say she's one of the lifelines of the set. And they got Jay Money on the conversation telling somebody that Lady Duck has been holding the set down money-wise for a long time. And it was time for him to start increasing his profits in the streets for the hood. So situations like these is why Lady Duck is seen as the lead defendant in this case. Like I said, she was already down for 30 flocks in 3 different counties and was in custody since July of last year. But they got her on tape beating multiple females, and there was that one tape that came out in the store where she was seen beating that pregnant female, where she alleged that that female was dissing the Hoovers.
What is the female grown? Because is this the minor female or is this the grown female? I can't find my keys, but fuck it. Is this the minor female or the grown female? Let's see. Hold on, listen.
Alright, what, bitch? I hope you got the same dress on, bitch. What? Fuck wrong with you, bitch, when you dissing the set, bitch. Hey, CG, this bitch on the set. Say sorry, bitch. Bitch, say sorry, bitch, for dissing the set.
But right before she went down,
Hey, that bitch is a gangster, bro. She said, say sorry. And it's like, when you in this, like I said, these Yimps, they don't got no morals and standards, man. She a female Yimp, man. So, you know, hey, I'm praying for it. But when you in this game, you got to be understanding what's important in life, man. And, you know, some things just not important in life, man. You know, sometimes you got to just grow up and realize what's really important out there.
for them flocks, April 26, 2024, she's seen at that Stadium Inn with a 14-year-old girl. Now, her and Jay Money both had hands in lacing this 14-year-old girl up, but she was the main person in dealing with this little girl. And the crazy part is, dudes was actually out here dealing with little girls. At one point, they said this girl had $200 at 2 a.m. And by 4 p.m. the next day, she had $1,500, bringing it straight to Lady Duck. And it got so crazy where the little girl's family ended up finding her at Stadium Inn, and Lady Duck told one of her homies that she started to look like a...
I hear what she's saying, but she got a sandal and a shoe on? That's a style? Man, I don't get it. That's how you mess up your feet. But alright, she's saying that she had the child the longest, and what is he saying?
Predator out here dealing with this little girl. Now, like I said, Jay Money was with her, and all these dudes was around this situation with a 14-year-old girl outside. But like I said, Lady Duck, extremely active in this section. When they needed burners, they was calling Lady Duck. She was caught on a phone call with an undercover space circulating, and she replied that Hoover won his head. And one of the main people she was dealing with was P4K. Now, you know, P4K to the internet, he made a cold turn to the pimping. As soon as the rapping started to slow down, everybody saw it. The Baby Stones stopped producing music at the rate that they was producing.
Not the pimping. He made a cold turn to the yimping. Let's keep that in mind, because if he made that cold turn to the pimping, he would have got pimping, and you feel me, you probably wouldn't be hearing about bruh. But he made that cold turn to the yimping and was cool with, you know, Young Duck or Little Duck or whatever her name is, you know, dealing with the kids, or, you know, allegedly, and you know, he was cool with all the mockery going on. So he didn't turn to the pimping, but let the man continue.
To that, and P4K really took on this whole pimping moniker. And the feds started to use his rapping with glorifying the pimping and the gangbanging to build this case against him. But this
You see, these yimps, they'll be rappers thinking they good, talking about I'm a yimp this and I'm a yimp that, but shit, let that shit follow up with what you really living. Yeah, okay.
dude was out here leveraging his rapping career, telling females that they could go on tour with him if they hit the blade for him. But on January 1st, 2023, it's like this nigga made the New Year's resolution to get pimping.
That sound like deal making to me. That sound like deal making, man. Oh, you want to go on tour with me? Trap for me? What? Oh my God, these motherfucking yimps, boy. These yimps don't know what to say.
Because the feds got him posting an ad for females to apply to his pimping and saying all applicants must be obedient. Again, all of this done on social media.
Look, this is what he posts on IG to apply. This is what I'm saying. Like when they be like, I be seeing a lot of motherfuckers do this on Instagram. They be thinking they campaigning, and it's like, all right, you campaigning for a bump. That's what you campaigning for. You don't really want to campaign like that on social media. You gotta understand, a lot of females, they get attention already on social media like a motherfucker, right? They see a bunch of people doing this and trying to thinking they being unique and doing that and doing that. And really, all you doing is putting a target on your back. You're not even truly campaigning. You're not knocking nobody doing that. Talking about I'm applying. You know, he ain't taking applications. Nobody applied. Nobody applied to your application on social media. You just trying to sound like you doing something. And really what's going to happen is then people going to pick up and get in your business.
Instagram. Now, after that ad in January 2023, July 2023, P4K with a 16-year-old female. And not only was he trafficking her, the feds allege that he was also having an intimate relationship with this 16-year-old girl as well in 2023. And like I said, he was seen with many hoovers, but he was in deep communication with Lady Duck. At one point in the audio recording in the Instagram message, P4K stated to Lady Duck that he pimps minors over the age of 16 and under the age of 18. He admitted it out of his own mouth in his own audio recording, allegedly. So all the bad shit people were saying about P4K, you know, when you had them charges, that's one thing. But now when you get this paperwork, it's a whole nother ball game when you got the discovery on somebody.
And look, the discovery is real, right? The discovery is a real piece of what you gotta understand when you're looking at a discovery, you're looking at the police ask the questions, right? So police, just like when you're getting interrogated, right? That's where the discovery comes from. They can ask questions in a certain way to jam a person in a corner, right? To where they're not really trying to give you leverage to answer it the way, the correct way. So you gotta take that and, you know, take that with a grain of salt when you're looking at a discovery too. And that's what a lot of people, they don't do. They just believe, oh, the police gives us a report, call it a discovery, and it is what it is. And it's like, let's pull back some layers first. Let's understand where this piece of paperwork came from. Let's understand who did the interviewing to get this piece of paperwork what it is. Now, do we have to really look at and take that all that in, understand, okay, now this person did say this, though. He said maybe too much or whatever the case may be.
It's not looking good for this dude, and it's not looking good for any of these defendants. They all look like the bad people. And we see the clip of Smack from back on Fig, speaking about the child trafficking on Fig.
What is we gonna do about the prostitution out there and these kids walking Figueroa?
So,
your kids gotta go to school and see this.
So let me just tell you, that's an issue that when we started in the 90s, we were dealing with as well. The difference is that the women, there were women that were on the streets then. Now they're girls.
Right.
That are on the street.
That is
almost
a big difference.
Across the board, the girls are from the foster care system.
And you know, some people look at it in a way as if Smack was telling on the Hoovers.
And now when you see that, when you get this, right, the squares, you know, they need somebody to blame for that, right? And you know they're gonna blame the pimp man because that's the biggest title, right? They're gonna put, and that's why I'm trying to give a bigger title, not a bigger title, but just another title out there and call these motherfuckers yimps. You know, the people that's not contrary to this stuff, you gotta give them a title, man, and call them a yimp. Because what happens is that's where you see signs of HT and fast foods and every hotel and every strip club. And then when the pimping comes in there in the strip club and don't want to buy a dance, he automatically gets a target on his back. You know what I'm saying? Or when a guy, you know, go gets a hotel room, you know what I mean, and he asking for 2 beds and it's only himself, you know, he might be putting a target on himself. You know what I'm saying? So that's why you got to keep in mind with this stuff.
Like that. My thing is, these is the bad people. Everybody in this case dealing with minors is bad.
They're bad, right? They're bad people for sure, because they knew that there's a minor being around, and they're just okay with that, right? And that's not a pimp being a bad pimp, mind you. That might be a bad yimp. They're for sure not thinking smart. You know, in hell.
There's no way around it, no way to cut it. I feel like he spoke on what he had to speak on, not necessarily implementing any of his homies, but shining the light on these members dealing with little kids. So Lady Duck, after she had that 14-year-old girl, May 2024, they got her on a phone call with Info talking about the hood is hot right now, and he's specifically hot, and that they come into the hood to pick up these minors off the blade. And everything was well known and publicized between these members from Hope. Now with P4K, what we all seen was when he was beating on that chick on the blade. We had it in our blood report card video, him whooping on the chick from the blade. That whole situation, the backstory of that is crazy. So Info, again, Naziz Harris, a flagrant offender.
Wait, so he was fighting girls on the blade? Oh my gosh.
In this case, he had a 17-year-old girl earlier this year in January 2025 working for him. P4K ended up knocking the 17-year-old girl and taking her back to Harris, and both of them made the female choose. The female ended up choosing P4K, and Info basically asked P4K if he could punch on the female, the 17-year-old girl, as an exit fee. P4K allowed him to punch on the girl and took the female to Fig. Now, of course, shortly after she hit Fig, she went back to Info and left P4K and got back down on the blade for Info. P4K ends up pulling back up on her, and that's where we see him beating on that female on the blade. That was...
You see what I'm saying, man? That's very, very unpimpish, man. That's that yimp shit. That's that yimp shit, dog. That's that yimping. I'm trying to explain to you. Very, very emotional. You know, thinking this is their property like it's the dope sack. They thinking the human being, that female, is like a dope sack, like a product. That's that yimp mentality.
The little girl. And of course, the feds seen that, and they also are alleging that that video was a scare tactic that P4K intentionally put on the internet to show his other females that they need to be obedient to his pimping.
Now, you see that? You see how the police would twist that whole video up? And that's what they got to feed to the jury. That's the type of stuff they'll tell the jury, like, look, he had to record this because this is what he does to his females, you know, in his program. And he, you know, they have to pump it up. When reality is he was just emotional. You know, he was just in his emotions, you know, trying to do it in his ego, and his peers is there. And it don't got nothing to do with, you know, traumatizing his other females. But that's what the police will do because they need to sell it. They want to make everything like a pimp instead of just being real, like, oh, no, he wasn't no pimping. You never going to hear the court say that. He wasn't the pimp. He was doing it all wrong. You ain't never going to hear that. But you get, guess what? You get 12 people that's in that jury that understand what a real pimp is and what a real ain't, you know. Then they might can help out a pimp that got a real pimp charge, you know. But this doesn't help out the pimp charge, the ones that get caught up with the pimp charges. This doesn't really help us. Damn, he's swinging hard. Damn, he mad. And then look how he tapped that girl right there in the back. I don't know who bro is, bro. I hope the gangbangers don't get mad at me. But bro don't even... He looked like a female trying to fight females, bro. That's all I'm saying.
See, I'm coming hard about mine.
Now, the feds allege that all these dudes was targeting females that was, of course, in foster care, runaways, and females that just grew up around the blade and somewhat close to the lifestyle. And, of course, they know they was dealing with minors, so they was providing fake IDs, and some kidnapping was involved.
Man.
Now, like I said with Info, Naziz Harris, he was told multiple times by his homies that dealing with minors was dangerous. But again, not only was he trafficking these females, he's also beating on them. He was going around the hood telling people how the minors is snitching on him about him pistol whipping them. But he had another 17-year-old girl around that same time where P4K had knocked him for the other minor in the...
Hey man, this is just contrary to the game, man. Like I titled this is a black eye to the game because they want to insert it like they was doing some pimping and there's some hoeing and pimping going on, and there was none of that going on. And that's why this is a black eye to the game, because you know the 90% of the world see this stuff, and this sets the pimp man back. You know he gotta, that's why I understand why a lot of people don't want to call themselves a pimp, and depending on who it is and all that. I get that. I do get it. But hell, I'd rather let them know what a real pimp is and tell them I am the real deal than to, you feel me, tell them, oh, I'm not a pimp. That's just me.
Fans are alleging that he was producing explicit
Somebody just
content
got hit
with
by
this
a
little
car.
girl, along with beating on her and getting her hooked on pills. And what blew this dude up, he take this little girl across country, end up getting stopped, and the folks find his pistol. He tells this 17-year-old girl to take the charge for him. And of course, she snitches on him in Nebraska. Nebraska put out the...
What is going on? This what this little nigga did too? Like... So far we done went through a couple of these dudes, these people that's down right now, and I've not heard one pimp story, man. Like no pimping going on whatsoever have I heard yet. But this video almost over, man. Let's see.
The human trafficking of a minor charge on him, and he goes down in March 2025. And after that, they still have him pimping over the jail phone to his feet back in California. But somebody he was in heavy communication with was Young Poke. Now, Young Poke is probably the worst person in this indictment in terms of allegations. Young Poke, real name Keandre Young. He started off with the 15-year-old girl, and then the feds allege that he starts having an intimate relationship with the 15-year-old girl, and then they uncover, again, explicit content.
Look, if Molly in here, I told that nigga gonna be taking pictures with guns
pieces of content, though. Then he goes ahead and secures a 17-year-old girl and whoops her feet in front of everybody. And this is when his other little females, his adult females, are approaching him about dealing with minors. And he goes on to berate them about how the minors are bringing in more paper than them. And then after all of that, he gets another...
I don't know, bro. Look, now, bro telling the story, man, they love clickbait, dog. They love clickbait. And my thing is this. How are these niggas... like these minors, but even the grown females, like, cause so far he said, like, I guess 2 dudes didn't have some grown females. I'm assuming all. How are they even having females that want to participate with them in the lifestyle? That's another thing that be throwing my mind off too. It's like, who is choosing to be with these dudes? That's what's be throwing me off.
15-year-old girl. And this dude had the nerve to tell Info that dealing with minors was dangerous. And at one point, he threatened a 17-year-old girl with Lady Poke, saying he was going to have Lady Poke pull up and put them hands on her. But when the female try to leave him, he goes on, ends up beating the girl and holding her hostage for 7 days straight. And the feds are alleging that he RAPE'd the chick as well, man.
Oh,
all
my God.
bad dealing with these minors. And this is another reason why they say the gang banging and the pimping don't mix, man. These niggas went wild.
Mix.
They was doing too much. At one point, Info was in
not
communication
mix.
with Young Pope about one of his girls. The 17-year-old girl was saying that her head was hurt. Info asked her if she wanted to go to the hospital. She said no, because I'm not going to be able to explain these bruises on my face. Mind you, this is a kid. Now, Young Pope also had another 16-year-old girl with him, and when the feds caught up to him,
Woo, hey, this young Pope nigga, this nigga is, if this is legit, and this motherfucking YouTube nigga is just not pumping up a story, this nigga Young Pope, bruh, he just, I don't know what his mind is. I don't know what he was thinking. He's on that Yimp shit too, man, because it just don't make no sense, Young Pope. It just don't make no sense. If you got grown females, any person that's a young pimp in this game, a young adult pimp, they want to become a big time man, you know, grown man, have his own shit. That's why he decided to be a pimp. And I just don't see how one's mind can think to partake in child shit for so long, you know, when you jump in this lifestyle. I just don't see that, right? I look at the young, because I jumped in this game as a young adult male. And when I jumped in it, I was like, okay, it's time to, you know what I mean? Yeah, that's a picture of the Yimp. ATM Richie, a Yimp, man. You know, this is the Yimp. And these Yimps is putting a black eye on the gang, man. You know what I'm saying? We was talking about him earlier, but we moved on to the you know, I don't know what crew they from, but they all went to jail and they trying to say they was pimps, and I'm trying to let these people know these is Yimps. No, this nigga called that nigga a booty bandit. I don't know nothing about all that sex play shit.
he had a screenshot of Department of Child Services trying to get in contact with her because he had gaffled her up. And they further glued him to the Enterprise when he recorded and posted when the Hoovers caught them dudes from Main Street slipping. And they had posted the video dissing the Main Streets and whooping on some shit. Now with Folo, aka Figure 4, he was on some whole other shit. Of course, the feds are alleging that they was in multiple states. Of course, Vegas is one of them, but they was at least operating in 9 different states. Folo was out here training his females to have them sticky fingers. And everybody sees it that this situation happened because all these females is talking. The feds have made contact with
all them females is talking. All them females is talking. Man, honestly, the squares already got the minds made up about the game. Right. I'm not trying to change the minds of the squares in the game. That's not the objective, to change their mind. It's to open their mind to understanding that these is Yimps. You know what I'm saying? And you don't gotta necessarily get, you know, you're competing against 90% squares, so you're not gonna get them all to understand. But what you can do is to get the few to understand the real, because, you know, a pimp living his lifestyle is, you know, he's putting a target on himself to go to jail. And then when you do go to jail for pimping, you might get a target, you know, you might get charged with HT. And if you want to take it to the box, you got 12 people. And if one of them people out of them 12 might know the difference from an HT and a pimp, might just save a pimp's life. You get what I'm saying? But it's not about competing with the squares. I don't get in debates too much. If they want to believe what they want to believe, go for it. But as long as I could, you know, drop some jewels in their brain that they might want to pick up later, that's the objective of this.
24 of these victims clearly, and they all snitch. And when you putting these females in these bad positions, having them yanking the clients, they running and scared for their life. You having them taking gun charges, they gon' tell on your ass. But it said Figure 4 sent this chick to steal a Rolex, and when she came back, he punched her in the back of the head. Like I said, he was putting her in the line of fire, putting himself in the line of fire. And they alleged that he ripped her hair out. She pointed a gun at him, and he ended up...
Oh, squares as in government. No, for sure, the squares as in the government, I get what you're saying, when you say squares as in government, they're not going to change their mind. I get that for sure. They're not, and I'm not talking to the government. I'm trying to stay away from them. And they not. I don't want them to be my audience at all. You know what I'm saying? I want the squares that's not in the government. You know what I mean? Yeah, they squares that matter. Nah. The trick squares is what matters. You know, in the lifestyle I live. You know, that trick square, the jury and all that. The jury is not the government. Do you know how the jury works? Jury's not the government. You know, you could be on jury duty if you don't got no felons. They can mail you some shit. Tricks ain't squares? Oh Lord. This nigga said tricks ain't squares. What is a trick then, bro? If a trick's not a square, man.
Breaking the female nose. Now, right before Lady Duck went down in 2024, she already knew that the feds was on them. I don't know if it was because of the flocking, but she made multiple statements that
come in the box
spots
and
were under
explain what a trick
investigation,
is.
including hers on 88. The people that rolled up there.
All right, come in the
they
box.
noticed
Come in the
somebody
box
pulling
and
a gun out
explain
of
why
her
a
house.
trick's not a
They had a
square.
lot of people meeting up, and a lot of the
Man,
females
tricks got
on
game.
88 as well. But
Better
I
not
believe
lace
it's
that
because
bitch.
they was
Let me-
making
let
the
me-
spot hot. Dudes like J
Let me
Money.
see what he
The
got to
feds
say.
also
Hold on, let me
alleged.
pause this. He came up. Let me see. Let's see what he got to say. Hold on, man. Let's see what he got to say. Matter of fact, y'all on the YouTube, y'all, if y'all want to come back on the Instagram, I'm about to chop it up with him. Okay, so you said tricks ain't squares. Now, why you think tricks ain't squares?
Yeah, so it's not really that. That's not what I think. That's not my philosophy. That's just a fact. You know, a trick is, you know, at one point you were square and you turn into a trick. That's why, you know, in the game, I believe that it's only